got fired, y'all. Every one of my call outs was sitting right here on TikTok.
Her caption says, I got fired because of TikTok.
Call outs was sitting right here on TikTok. And I'm confused on how I got fired. TikTok want to be showing my fucking videos to the people in Texas and Houston. Of all people, of all the people in the world, you just had to show my shit to my coworkers. I'm quick to call out, y'all. I'm call out for anything. Y'all, especially since my parents have died. Oh, y'all.
She said, of all the people, you want to show it to my coworkers. If she's saying that it was targeting people, it decided that people that were going to be the best fit for her location first, or for her content first, was people in her location. So she didn't even give away her TikTok. They organically found you because you're not even that big. She ain't even that big. That's crazy. Just this video alone doesn't even have 100 likes. It's got 7 comments. Now that's wild. And that's just unfortunate and unlucky for you. But then this is where you're supposed to have the things in place to protect you, which is, in the chance that someone does find it, how bad is it? What are you doing on here? What are you saying? See, that's the second barrier of protection that you can give to yourself.
Especially since my parents have died. Oh, y'all. Milking it. Fucked up by letting me make the obituary, baby. I'll put anybody in some wings to get off, okay? But you, I will put you. R.I.P., baby. I got somewhere to be. They like, look, show me my videos. What is this and what is this? Bitch, depression. TikTok is my escape. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I work through things. That's how I'm getting through this.
Social media should not be your escape from depression. How are you going to go to something addictive as an escape for depression? And I know it happens all the time, but I'm just saying that sounds crazy. As well as what that tells me, when you're saying depression, you're really just talking about you're going through your emotions. In some way, shape, or form, you're in an emotional state. And you decide in your mind, which you don't decide because you're not thinking, because you're emotional, which is the very reason you need to put the phone down. But you subconsciously decide in your mind that while you're in an emotional state, that's going to be the best time to come on TikTok. And obviously, it was an emotional outlet. It was an emotional, she was going off emotionally, right? Obviously, you were acting volatile on here and acting crazy because they had the clips to show you and ask you, can you explain this? And your explanation is, well, I was in depression. So what do you do in depression? What do you say? That tells me you probably came on here saying some crazy stuff. And that's your fault. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. But definitely, if you could like, it's just a click. So if you're here anyway, again. But let's go ahead and get back into it.
That's how I'm getting through this. I ain't even finna ask you hard, because, bitch, I don't want to work. Just like the videos. I'm really going through something, bitch. My parents is dead. They let the wrong person parent die, yeah. I'm a milk you. My parents know, like, they know damn well I'm going to wear they death out. They know damn. If you are concerned about this, like, and you really, like, care, think I shouldn't be doing that, all you got to do is like the videos. Because then I won't have to go apply for no job and have to ever call out again. You know what I'm saying? Just like it. And I won't have to keep using my parents' death. So I got fired, y'all. Every one of my call outs was sitting right here.
You see? This is why you got to be super in tune with manipulation. Especially fellas. It'll be right in your face. The tears will be flowing. It'll be something so crazy going on. And maybe you holding somebody accountable. Maybe you holding your woman accountable. Or just any of them. And in order to get you to stop, now they start crying. And now you got to address that. And you stop dead in your tracks. and then we just move on and we never address it, and they ultimately never take accountability for it. Look what she just said. She go as far as to use her own parents' deaths at work as excuses. And she said she's going to milk it as long as possible. She's going to do whatever she got to do in order to get the objective or to dodge accountability. You got to pay attention, man. It'd be right in your face.
Here's how TikTok got me fired. So if you've been watching me for a while, you may notice that some of my content has changed up a little bit.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. That caption went by too quick. Let me read it. Hold on.
Here's how TikTok got.
See, this is how this got on my radar anyway. It says, here's how TikTok got me fired from my 9-to-5 job making $100K. This dude was had a job making 6 figures, and he allowed his TikTok to get him fired from that.
Me fired. So if you've been watching me for a while, you may notice that some of my content has changed up a little bit. I know there was a lot of content where I was in my garage on the phone talking to homeowners. If you just scroll down after this video, you'll be able to see it. And I no longer do that content anymore because I got fired. And the reason that I got fired, in my opinion, is simply because of my presence on TikTok and the extra things that I do in my life that started to get noticed on TikTok. Now, full disclaimer, I still love everybody at that company. A lot of those people are my friends and I've known for years. So no harm, no foul, no hate their way at all. And the reason that I was given for being let go is because the company is going through some financial struggles right now, struggling to stay profitable. They've been having to make a lot of tough decisions. Prior to myself getting fired, I was asked to hire a really large staff, spend a lot of time training the staff, and then about a month after that was asked to let the entire staff go. Mostly due to the fact that we couldn't afford to pay them anymore. I think that's what happened when it came to me. I was making over 100 grand a year. Over, I'd say, the last year, I noticed my bonuses going down. So I could tell something was going on by the way that we were letting people go and just the conversations that were being had. And it started feeling really uncomfortable. When I started to notice these things, I started to put some plays together. Set myself up with an Amazon seller's account. I started investing very heavily into some cryptocurrencies, and I started doing Uber Eats. I just wasn't making what I used to make when I started working at that company. But I say the minute that it went good is the minute it went bad. See, the thing about getting more traction on TikTok is everybody sees your videos, right? And when you're working for a company making over 100 grand a year and individuals from that company start seeing these videos, questions start popping up. How is he having time to do this? When is he doing this? Is this taking away from the focus he has while he's at our company?
See, this is where it gets crazy every time. Just say you hate and don't be speculating, talking about I see somebody has something else going on in their personal life that I didn't think to do for myself, and they're probably making some money or whatever. And then you're going to talk about how does he have enough time to do this? Okay, so if with that logic, you should only hire single people then. Single people with no kids. Otherwise, you'd have to ask yourself, well, XYZ over here doesn't have any kids, any family. But Paul has a wife and 3 kids. How does he have time to dedicate to our company? It doesn't make sense. See, people are going to justify however they want to justify. That's none of your business. See, ideally, you would want to make sure that you don't get discovered, but at the same time, you're on social media because you ultimately want to get more attention, because that ideally that will translate into more money. That should be the focus. I hope you don't just want attention just for attention's sake and be broke. But so you actually want to get more exposure, but at the same time, if you're trying to work a job, you're going to have to deal with haters, because that's truly what that is. Because no, just judge me off the job. If before you knew I had this other thing on the side, you were perfectly happy with my performance and I was doing what I needed to do, then let it just remain just like that. But what it really is it's sad, because at the end of the day, in life, we're still not at the point where we can read minds. Let's hope it can stay that way. But at the same time, situations like this, you never know what could be going on. It could literally just be They envy and hate the fact that they know that you might have other things either that you're able to produce in the form of revenue, or maybe they can see the vision. Maybe they can see where it's going to go. And it's obviously something that clearly has a higher ceiling than a job could ever do for you. So they don't have to necessarily tell you that's what it is in order to find a way to get rid of you, or they can just gaslight you altogether, like how he just said, where they just say, huh, are you sure you have time for this? Knowing that other people have hobbies and things that they do outside of work. What type of person, their entire life existence is only work, then go home, get your rest so that you can come back for work? Why would you even want to advocate for people's lives to be designed that way? But when it's you using your off time to do something productive, all of a sudden that's a confliction and that contradicts your regular job. I think that's amazing. And we got to start calling things like it is. Don't just let people just say whatever and it don't make no sense and we just going with it. Just because, well, you might have to at a job, but it still doesn't make sense.
Doing this? Is this taking away from the focus he has while he's at our company? Which, I mean, quite frankly, it's none of their business. I was putting 110% effort working for this company. I was working 6 days a week, pretty much getting paid for 40 of those hours. Like I said, no harm, no foul, things happen, and no longer working for that company. Crazy because it's a blessing. Since I have stopped working for that company, I'm making more money than I've ever made. Getting fired from that job is probably the biggest blessing that I've had this year. Which might sound crazy, but it is. You know, I just wanted to make this video to kind of let you guys know what's going on. There'll be some more videos kind of explaining in more detail what my next steps are and how I'm keeping my head above water. But again, getting fired was probably the best thing that could have happened to me this year. Here's how TikTok.
See, there's a difference between where you have some people who they get fired and now they try to look at this as a sign to do what they really wanted to do to begin with. And what I'm referring to is you'll see people get fired and now all of a sudden, oh, I guess I got to go all in with content creation. But they wasn't getting paid a cent from content creation to begin with. It's just now it's a convenience. Now it's conveniently an excuse that enables them to do what it was that they already want to do. It's different. This guy, it sounds like he already had motion, and that's why people were hating on him. And see, these are the best scenarios where you'll end up losing your job or whatever, and then it'll be a blessing in disguise because he's already super productive. He's already a highly efficient person to begin with. So what he found was once they let him go, he's now having more success than ever because now he has more of his time, as well as he has probably some emotional energy. And by emotional energy, he's been slighted. So now it's like, oh, you're trying to get in my way. You're trying to hold me back. So now that's going to propel him even further. And that'll actually be one of probably the key reasons why he's going to be even more successful at a faster rate. And so it's going to depend on the person. And like I said, he already had some motion with his content creation. But if he could have it his way, he would still have his job and do the content creation. So he just has the traits for success. So he's going to be successful regardless. Even if he had to get another job, he'd have probably still got another job and his content creation would have kept growing.
I got fired from working at my home club as soon as I was becoming.
How she got fired from her club because of TikTok, basically.
Working at my home club as soon as I was becoming quote unquote TikTok famous. As you guys know, I would do lives at work and I would get ready and I would respect the privacy of every single girl and make sure none of them got on my lives. Management told me on 2 occasions to not go on live. I respected that. Girls were complaining. It was fine. And then one day, double with my friend. This day, I didn't double with my friend on stage. I go on stage. I have my phone propped up on my bag on the stage. And once I'm done, management tells me to come downstairs. Management is accusing me of recording a TikTok video or whatever. And I'm super adamant at that point that I no longer do that. They told me not to. I don't. I even told them, like, hey, let's go through my phone. Let's go through my camera roll because you're accusing me of something that I haven't done. We go through my camera roll and there's nothing, absolutely nothing other than nature, snowboarding, and workout videos. But by that point, the decision was already made because of, quote unquote, the perception I gave just by having my phone on me. I got fired from working at my home club as soon as I was becoming, quote unquote.
Well, if they already told you, I can understand a little bit where they came from as far as why would you set your phone up in a recording way, ma'am? It's kind of obvious, but here's the thing: when you got to get to the point where you going all in your phone and you showing like you, who knows what you could have accidentally showed or whatever. It it just is what it is. But again, personal responsibility wise, just don't even do it, especially if it's recent. They recently told you not to do it or whatever. I wouldn't do what could be perceived as that because they're not going to check your phone every time. Don't put your phone on a tripod facing you when you start dancing, man. It's kind of simple. Sounds like she might be doing some exotic type of
Hey
dance.
boy, y'all better stop letting this social media clout cause y'all to lose y'all motherfucking jobs. Trying to be content creators when you know you got a 9 to 5 and you gotta pay the motherfucking bills. I've been seeing video after video. I done seen some nurses. I done seen teachers. I done seen dudes with corporate jobs. Hell, y'all better stop. Y'all better stop chasing this TikTok clout trying to post and get TikTok famous knowing you need that 9 to 5. I be trying to tell y'all. I tell you all the time, I don't need this motherfucking TikTok. I got a good job. I love my job. There is a nurse she just posted, she got fired because she made a video talking about reconstituting medication or something. It was like last year and they caught that shit and fucking fired her ass. Like, you got people posting, that one dude that said he got fired because he was off the clock but still at work or something like that. And then another girl got fired because she was on live at work. Just
Here's my thing, man. Yeah, people make dumb decisions about risking their main thing over the thing that they desire to be their main thing, which isn't even really a side hustle. Because a lot of these people are risking their job over something that ain't even generating revenue yet. But listen, man, I like a good job just as much as the next person. But you didn't have to sound like an indentured servant when you was talking about. He's talking about some people risking their job. Oh, I loves my job. Loves my jobs. I'm like,
I tell you all the time, I don't need this motherfucking TikTok. I got a good job. I love
I
my
got
job.
I got a good job. I loves my jobs. You didn't have to sound like you be in the house. But yeah, definitely don't risk a good job. Like the last guy we reviewed, he sounded like he had a good job. He risked it, but sometimes it's a risk, but it may be it may make sense as a risk. For him, in his case, it did. Because it's also a type of thing, as long as you keep your business, and then you continue to grow your stuff. Ideally, if someone finds it organically, that's probably going to mean that you're successful. By the time somebody organically comes across you and recognize you and keep coming across you, that probably means, shoot, you done made it. So it's worth it now at this point, and you just created a new form of leverage for yourself. Unless you're that other chick who she didn't have no followers and someone just randomly found her in Houston. Now that's when you're messed up. But you got to weigh it. And it also can come down to, what are your goals in life? What are your goals? And by goals, I mean real goals. I don't just mean you just see other people successful and it looks easy and you're really lazy and you don't like working, so you just want that. No. I mean, did you put a plan in place? Do you have a strategy? And then are you also paying attention to the patterns so that you can adapt and evolve your strategy as things change, or as you just gain more experience and insights while you're on your campaign? That's the important thing. Are you committed? Do you know what the risk could be? Are you even positioned? And by positioned, are you living check to check? Do you have a lot of debt? Then you might not want to take that risk. But do you got a savings? Oh, you got a savings. Oh, your house paid off, your car paid off, whatever. And this can just really take you over and beyond. Okay, well, might have to consider it, especially if it's something where the door may be closing, because not all opportunities last forever. Right now, there's a lot of opportunities through AI. They're not going to last forever. There was a point when if you buy 1 cent of Bitcoin, you was going to be a millionaire. That opportunity is no longer existing. So it's a lot of different things you have to weigh and you have to discern, but you still at the same time have to understand the risks associated, as well as whether or not you're set up to be able to handle those risks.
This is a PSA to not post day in the life, get ready with me, come to work with me when you are really working. I don't care how much you blur it out, there's always going to be a slip up. If you guys know, I post content on here, Instagram, LinkedIn all the time. I have just as many followers on my other platforms as I do on here. So all I do is post content, come work with me, things like that. But I posted a video on here that got me fired. And like many other people, you want to advocate, say, hey, this is what a day in the life of a logistical analyst, procurement, whatever, right? You want to show people ask, like, hey, what do you do in your day to day while you're working, to see if your career is something that they want to develop in. And like this video, it was really no different than my other content, except I kind of dived a little bit deeper and obviously too deep, right? So let's get into it. So this particular video, and it might still be on my page on TikTok. I know it's not obviously on my Instagram anymore, and that's where I got caught. But this video was a particular day in the life of me greeting my employees, going through my workflow, showing my phone, my work phone, and things like that.
Man, where is your man at? Please, you can't have one. Who did you run this by before you did that? I'm waiting. I'm like, drum roll, please. Tell me what you specifically did to get fired. She said she created TikToks showing her greeting her employees. Employees? Um, Wait, did she say employees or customers?
Employees.
Greeting other employees. If I'm an employee, don't be, and you don't even really own, like, you ain't the CEO. If I'm an employee, you ain't finna be my manager and you building a brand off of showing that I'm working under you. Greeting my employees. She said, going through my work phone. You're gonna record you going through the screen of your work phone. The video didn't get you fired, ma'am. You got you fired. Cause that's crazy. It's like, got a good job, got people under you, but still don't got no common sense whatsoever.
I got caught. But this video was a particular day in the life of me greeting my employees, going through my workflow, showing my phone, my work phone, and things like that. Literally knew all about the content, blurring it out, not zooming in, staying very far from the screen, right? But there was a slip up in my video. And honestly, the
There was
slip
a
up
slip
was
up.
so much.
So she trying to blur it out and all this type of stuff. So you know the risk. That's why you know to blur it out. And you done had a slip up where you done revealed what? An invoice or something? What? These be the type of people. I'm looking at a comment right here. It says, from Simone, it says, I don't know why people want to see us typing on the damn keyboard at work. Don't let people trick you out of your spot. This will be a nurse or something talking about some, yeah, people just want to see me typing on the keyboard. Got people HIPAA records up and stuff. Got a patient's file up. Like, because TikTok wants to see me going through the keyboards, let me just go ahead and disclose this person's entire medical history. Didn't I just say, if you know that it is risky enough, dangerous enough to where you have to actually go in and edit and blur it out, why would you even take the risk to begin with? And then you do it all the time. You scaling it. You do this enough times to where you finally done had a slip up. Just playing with fire. And then surprised when you get burned.
Slip up in my video. And honestly, the slip up was so much discreetful that I really did not even get called in about this until a month later. That's how like minimal this situation was and how oblivious.
Ma'am, that's fast. That's pretty fast for them to have found that in a month. She's talking about it. It took them a month. What, you thought you was going to post it? They was going to just find out the next day? They might have even found out sooner. They have to run this through people. See, they have real checks and balances before they just go out and take a risk and spring something on you and then get found wrong. They got to strategize. They got to understand how we come across this. Let's check the policy again just to make sure we can hold her to this, which you should have checked the policy so that you didn't do this dumb ish to begin with. But ma'am, even if they just found out that day and called you in immediately, that is quick. That is a quick turnaround, a month from you posting something. And I'm sure you post a lot of stuff anyway.
I was like, what? When it kind of got brought to me, I was like, when did I even post this? Because I post content so much that I didn't even realize, right? But long story short, I posted the video. There was a piece.
You posting a lot of content would actually protect you because there's so much stuff they would have to get through to actually get to the offensive content. That lets you know probably how egregious it was. The fact that they still found it that fast.
In it about showing what customers put in as far as their conversations, and that part I did not blur out. It was too much of a risk analysis if somebody really wanted to go ahead and crack the code of like who this customer was, what was going on, where do they live, right? And the company brought it to my attention. Somebody previously had did a day in a life.
You disclosing customer information that could pinpoint where they live, who they are. We're not even understanding like what we're doing, like what we're handling, what we're responsible for, and the impact that our actions can have at a high level. And not just at a high level that can affect that customer, at a high business level. Somebody done put you in a position of leadership within a business, and you're taking dumb little trivial TikTok risks when you have people who you're over and in charge of. You're taking dumb risks that could have high stake business implications and impact. Imagine this customer is like, yeah, your manager exposed me on TikTok and it's going to live online forever. Imagine how much that person could sue that company for. And you'll just be looking like, oh, keep me out of it. You ain't going to want it attached to you at all. But that company is still going to be responsible for cutting that check. That could potentially be in the form of millions of dollars. You out here making $1 million mistakes, man, for the dumbest reasons. And you ain't even made $1,000 on TikTok. That's what they mean when they say we weighed the risk analysis, ma'am, and you're a liability.
Who this customer was, what was going on, where do they live, right? And the company brought it to my attention. Somebody previously had did a day in a life situation and they had to let them go. My video was, when I say 99% like being like closed lip, you didn't even know the company that I was talking about or the project that I was working on. But that one little slip up cost me my job. And as sorrowful as I was, it was nothing that I could do. They were very nice. I was a great employee. They actually gave me a referral and recommendation for my current role because it was a very unfortunate. We did it before. We had to do it again for.
Well, you got lucky, but that still ain't really nothing. That still ain't really nothing. I can't imagine. That is a crazy risk, man. That just didn't have to happen. That was completely unavoidable. Imagine moving up the corporate ladder or whatever the case and finally getting to this position where you're over people and you've made it to this high up and you still have an even higher trajectory. If you can just keep your nose clean, this ain't even it. This is already sweet. This is already good. But this ain't even the furthest it can go. It can go even farther than that. Farther than that. And you fumble it over TikTok just to show a day in the life. You don't got a life now to show a day of. Now, when you do a day in the life, it's got to be a day in the life of an unemployed ... How ironic can that be? We got to be smarter, especially when we're put in positions of power. This is why God won't give you more than you can handle. And this is a tough pill to swallow. I would be very hard down on myself if I messed up an opportunity like that still has so much more to go, more room to grow over TikTok. And TikTok ain't paying the bills. We're going to leave it there. Before we do, I just want to see her profile, though. Let me just give you she doesn't have no motion on TikTok. I mean, she got some motion, excuse me. But for TikTok, 32,000 followers, 420,000 likes. And her views right now are averaging less than 500 views per video. Really, probably averaging about 350 a video. I think she'll bounce back. I think she'll be okay. I think she might have even said that she got another job. But, ma'am, it didn't have to go this way. So let that be a reminder for everybody. But yeah, we'll leave it there for the day. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype is designed for smaller channels. So that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days, and hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video. And then also if you want to become a member of the channel as well, the join button's on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments where it would show people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and also exclusive content that's not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, the join button's on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.